Alright guys, today we're taking on the challenge of trying to figure out the best combos for one of the most awkward gloves in Counter-Strike, which are the Hand Wraps Spruce DDPAT. But you can see I'm off to a pretty good start here because with the Marcus Delro FBI agent and a Safari Mesh knife, it comes together pretty nicely. So just for the full combo to give you prices, the Hand Wraps minimum wear here $215. Prices from 12th of March. Marcus an absolute shit show right now, so to take with a pinch of salt, it might change very quickly. The knife is $620 for minimum wear. It is pattern based, so you can hunt around if you don't want the mesh pattern in certain areas, you want more green elsewhere, but in general, Safari Mesh looks good. And I think for $6.50, this agent is absolutely perfect. Not that agent, that's my one that I have applied. This is what he looks like from the third party perspective, but you see with the combo, looks absolutely fantastic. And then as you go to the weapon skins, we're going to kick it off with the CT pistols as usual, and we have the flashback USP. Minimum wear, this will run you 88 cents. Now, this one pairs pretty well with the gloves, but you will see very soon that these are a very awkward pair of gloves to try and actually get clean combos with. I think for the first time ever, I'm suggesting the Franklin here. This is the P250. It's $1.54 in factory new, but you can see with the dollar signs and like the color that the dollars have at the very top, it actually pairs them pretty nicely with the gloves, and it's not going to break the bank, thankfully. Now, the Desert Eagle is a problem area. I've landed on the Tilted because it's 73 cents for minimum wear, so really budget friendly, and the colors are somewhat there. If you guys can think immediately of a Desert Eagle that's better than this, please let me know in the comments down below, because I checked about 10 that from previews I thought might work, and just none of them tick that box for me. Good news on the Joe Berettas though, because we can go for the heist, and in minimum wear they are $1. And this is another one that it's not the perfect color, but it's in that same sort of color palette, which is kind of nice. And I actually struggled for the 5.7 for a little bit. Then I realized the hot shot, the top bit of the hot shot, is almost perfect for the inner color of the hand wrap. So while the base color isn't there and that neon green isn't perfect, that top color actually pairs in really nicely. You are going to spend over $6 to get it in minimum wear to have it somewhat clean, but I think it's actually worth it here because this looks kind of cool. Then the MP9 has a really good shout with the old roots. Now, you're looking at it with no stickers here, but I am going to recommend you get a souvenir because the price is drastically cheaper. It's 31 cents for factory new. You can get that with any old souvenirs. You can opt to keep them if you want, but you can scrape them and just save money compared to buying the non-souvenir version. Now, normally I wouldn't suggest you spend over $5 on an MP7 skin, normally, but this is $5.20 for a factory new olive played, and I think that's the best way to sum it up. I was trying to figure out what color these gloves are, and there's a bit of white, there's a bit of grey, but there's like little hints of sort of like that olive green throughout it as well, and this means it's an absolutely perfect pairing, and that contrasts into the sleeves as well of the agent. I'm actually really happy with how well this agent pairs into things. Now, when looking for a UMP, the Corporal took me by surprise, because initially I was thinking maybe nothing pairs in, but that green that's on the middle of the weapon that goes all the way down to the back, when you're using it in idle, it actually looks like it's connecting into that part of the glove. So this, as 63 cents, is a really nice pickup. We are going to have to skim over the XM. There was a real lack of options here. I checked a few that I thought might work. I landed on the Charter for 81 cents just because it's a kind of like different artwork off palette color, but yeah, we need something better to pair for this in the future. And then for the Mag 7, I got a pleasant surprise while checking the Pop Dog, because the colors actually work quite nice for the gloves that we have here, and it's only 19 cents, so you get to pick up a really nice value from a skin here. Over on the Airfryer 1S, initially I was leaning for the Moss Quartz, but then as I looked at the flashback USP, I realized realistically we should be going for the flashback M4 as well. And the good news is, compared to the the Moss Quartz, the Moss Quartz is 50 times this price, maybe more now with the market rises. So under $1 for this is really, really nice. And being honest, the M4 rifle was an absolute nightmare here. And I ended up going for the Tooth Fairy, an absolute curveball pick. I was kind of banking on this bluish green pairing in with the gloves, and you know what? It doesn't really. I'm going to take the L on this one, but much like the Desert Eagle, I just really struggled to find an M4A4 that I thought looked good with this. And if it wasn't bad enough already having to admit defeat and pick a Safari Mesh knife, because it actually looks good here, that's also going to be the upper choice, because it's really the only up in the game that works with these gloves. Now, it is float capped at 0.06, so getting factory new is quite slim, but thankfully the price is still only $1.20 for it, and you have it fairly clean. You're going to drop almost $5 on the Thamus. It's for the Macabre, and this actually actually, in fact, it looks pretty nice with the gloves. It's got like multiple shades of green and like kind of like a creamy white through it. So with the gloves, it's actually working quite well. And I said at the start, this is a tricky pair of gloves for combos. I went with the Fleet Flock, which is almost $6. I was hoping, I'm going to say that off-white color at the front would like pair more with that sort of olive green. It doesn't pair perfectly, but also clash-wise, it's not as bad a clash as it could be. Now, I forgot to mention at the start, but there was an alternative knife that I picked out, and it's the Stiletto Safari Mesh as well. So still Safari Mesh, so essentially you can go for any Safari Mesh knife, but I think the Stiletto here for $245 in minimal wear is really worth considering because it saves you almost $400. And with the hand wraps, I don't know what it is, I feel like the stiletto knives just work really well with hand wraps. Now, on T side, I still like the Darrell Legend, so I'm going to go for Sir Bloody Silent Darrell, one of the cheaper ones. He's $33, and the main thing here is you get some nice silver accents. For the Glock, we get one of my favorite budget picks in the Warhawk. Those greens are pretty damn close together, and then, I don't know, I kind of like the artwork on this. For the fact you're paying 35 cents, I think it's kind of cool. And believe it or not, the most expensive weapon skin for this whole loadout is the Tech 9. Because I'm going for the Rust Leaf. Now, I believe this should be pattern-based, but I'm not 100% sure. But you can see in that Rust Leaf, there are some that have a little bit of green through them, and that means accent color-wise, it does pair in with the gloves. Now, $34 is a lot to spend for a tech, but when you're talking, I tried many Tech 9s, there was not much that would pair. So this accent color was the closest thing to success you're going to have. Now, we are going to switch over from the ZZ to the R8 these days because my teammates have been doing some nasty work with them recently. And the good news here is this is only 2 cents for the bone mask. And man, this animation is actually kind of sick. 2 cents for this animation and a skin that pairs so well. I like it. And then on the Mac 10, I almost overlooked it, but thankfully I did a double check. And it turns out the monkey flange with these gloves actually pairs really damn nicely. And the good news, it's only 10 cents for minimal wear. Like, finally, something from the Bamboo series that kind of works with it. This is the PP Bison Bamboo print. It's $4.50 for minimal wear. It does start to pick up some scuffs, but overall, with the actual inside color of the gloves, it's like that whitey grey. I think this bamboo pattern then works pretty nicely with it. And then, much like that MP9 we looked at, you're going to go to a Souvenir P90. This is the Verdant Growth, and this costs you 5 cents for factory new, and again I'm showing it without the stickers because I would say just pick up any stickers on it and scrape them. For the Gale, I landed on the Vandal because it is this kind of like army core green, which is kind of nice, and you got that sort of like browny grey throughout it as well. So overall, again, not perfect but no clash, which is kind of the best thing you can get in this scenario. Now, I have 2 AKs. I know my preference, but I want you guys to let me know in the comments down below which one would you pick. The first up, I went for the Headshot. Now, no real particular reason, because it isn't a perfect pairing, but again, it also doesn't clash. You'll hear me say that a lot in the videos. But I like the fact that it's like this full gunmetal grey base, and then it has the white text, and then the colors just change around it. I think in Idle, because it's got lots of green and a little bit of blue, with that olive green that's on the Spruce DDPAT along with the greys and everything, it's not out of place, and it's just under $18 for minimal wear. However, the AK, I think realistically, if you want a perfect pairing, and you should go for the Olive Polycam, and the fact that this is 73 cents for factory new is fantastic. Now, this is a true olive green, not quite the gloves are like close to olive green, where this is a proper olive green. But combo-wise, this is fantastic. Figure out some sticker craft and you've got a banging combo. Now, I have the half-tone Whirl picked out for the Scout, which I like the pattern here that's on the main of the gun where it connects with the left hand that you're holding it with, because I think the colors actually blend quite nicely, and this is 26 cents for minimal wear, so a real bargain. And then finally, to end things off, we have the SG. As always, this is the Atlas. It is 34 cents in factory new, an SG that's actually grown on me a lot recently, and I think it works pretty nicely with the gloves here, and again, you're not breaking the bank. Now, the total cost, what are we talking? Now, if you went for the first suggestion of the big main M9 bayonet, you'd be looking at a total loadout cost of $968. So coming in under the $1,000 mark with a minimal wear M9 bayonet and like a pretty solid theme across the board is kind of cool. But if you really wanted to save some money, then that's where you would go for the Stiletto, because that gets the price down to $593. So under $600 for an S tier knife in the Stiletto that pairs perfectly with your agent and your gloves and all the combos around it. I think it's really cool. You guys might not want to pay the price I did for the Tech 9, but I quite like how this has come out. And overall, at the start, I thought it was going to be really difficult. And while it's tricky in some areas, Desert Eagle, Emperor A4, for example, right now, you can still build out a pretty solid loadout, and these are the best combos for the Spruce DDPAT Hand Wraps as of the 12th of March 2025. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit the like button if you did, hit the subscribe button if you're around here, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next video where we're going to be taking a look at a $1,000 black loadout. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.